Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and today we're going to be doing another weekly meta breakdown for the Alchemy format, best of 1 and best of 3. I will be splitting the videos going forward for the 3 formats on Arena, Historic, Standard, and Alchemy, so you could always find it in the playlist. Again, apologies for the audio and video this week. I should be moved into my new place in about a week or so and have my normal setup. So thanks for bearing with me for this time. Just want to get out the content while we can. So as always, we pulled data from Untapped GG. It's a companion tool that runs alongside your arena, tracks your games in terms of wins, losses, a bunch of great details, collection tracking, as well as suggests decks you can build with your collection. It's free to use. The link is in the video description down below, so you can follow that link and install it on your Mac or PC. But jumping into it, we are looking at Alchemy. This is for the week of December 11th to 18th, so kind of the first 2-ish weeks of the format, seeing where things settle. And we have 110,000 matches played between Platinum and Mythic for Best of 1. And the top deck right now is Esper Party, or Esper Clerics. It is a deck built around Inquisitor Captain, basically collected company kind of style, go search through your deck. And when you do, you can potentially get Glasspool Mimic, which makes a copy of Inquisitor Captain, which lets you do it again and again. And what you're trying to do with this deck is just kind of get a bunch of copies out with like Righteous Valkyrie, gain a bunch of life. You have stuff like the Angel Unity to pump your team. Voice of the Blessed gets quite large in this deck. You have Aura as board wipe insurance, as well as Pyre of Heroes as a way to tutor up specific pieces and get some value out of there. This version as well as playing an Angel of Destiny as an alt win con for the heavy life gain synergy. So this deck was pretty fun. I was playing it. It does kind of stumble. It's a little awkward because it is very mana intensive. But when it gets rolling, it just smashes. We see the Mono Black Sacrifice, Mono Black Drains deck. This is kind of the weenie version. You'll see some Blood on the Snow versions from Aldrich, the MPL player. But this version here, what you're looking to do is basically things like Cursebound Witch to get from its spell book. You get some value there. Your lesson board, just kind of drawing cards from outside of different zones. You have your drain package with the blood tokens. You have the Sanguine Brushstroke, which creates a blood artist, as well as drains them from the blood tokens being sacrificed. You also have Meathook Massacre, which drains when your creatures die. So just kind of a grindy type deck that kind of drains out your opponent over multiple turns. We have Mono White Agro. This is one of the first times I'm seeing this. Mono White I haven't really run into at all playing this format, but you get the Captain Eberhardt, which is kind of a tax style effect. Cards drawn for your opponent cost more for the turn, and cards you draw cost less. You also have Sigardian Evangel, just a way to get kind of virtual card advantage and cast creatures, multiple creatures per turn. And this version here is also playing Inquisitor Captain. However, it doesn't have the ability to clone. But even 4 mana, like find an Adeline or one of your Brutal Cathars or Skyclave can be quite a lot of value in the deck. We're going to have like the Dragons portion now. It looks like there's Jeskai, Mono Red, Rakdos, Choose Your Own Adventure Dragons. So red, splash whatever color you want for the most part. I've run into Tiamat versions as well. But basically it's being fueled by 2 cards from the new set. You have Fearsome Whelp that reduces the casting cost of dragons in your hand, as well as Town Razor Tyrant, basically invalidates a land's additional text and either deals them 2 on their upkeep or they have to sacrifice the land, so kind of land destruction in a way. You have this particular version that's playing Ilmareth, as well as Adult Gold Dragon, as some copies of Angel Fire Ignition to get cards. You also have the ramp in Orb of Dragonkind, and this version is playing Showdown. So just some more ways to get card advantage. It does seem a little bit clunky off like Showdown as an example, because a lot of your cards are like 5-6 mana, but interesting that this is the best performing version. Mono Red Dragons, very similar. You're getting Chandra as your card advantage engine and more burn for your interaction. And then the Rakdos version is playing Immerstrom. You have another 2 mana Accelerant in Kallian, as well as Olivia to bring back things from the graveyard. Esper Party, just another version that we see, another version of the Sacrifice. Nia Werewolves, this is a Croaky's list I was playing today, and it is awesome. The Captain, probably one of the best cards of the set. Just kind of finding more gas. What I found with Werewolves is you always kind of if you didn't have Tovolar out and attacking, kind of ran out of cards quite frequently, but this just finding like your spells, Storm Seekers or Tovolar from your deck, or just your removal, even the Rahilda just draws you cards off your opponent's deck. Was able to cast like 4 or 5 cards off the cleric opponent that I was facing, but this deck's been a lot of fun. I'm like 5-0 or so with it so far. I'm up into like top 1200 mythic. We see a black-white clerics, Zorius Agro, similar idea, and then Rakdos vampires, which is kind of plays similar to the sacrifice deck, but just more vampire themes. Pretty much it, what you're seeing there. In best of 3, we're not seeing as much variety, 8,200 games, very similar to standard meta, where we are only seeing 11,000 games for the week. But we're seeing the Boros Dragon list, very similar concept. This one's, I think, Hooglin played. You have Nadar for card advantage, the adult gold dragons, and just kind of pumping through some more interaction in that regard. I think this is Tybalt that doesn't show up for whatever reason. You have the Mono Black Sacrifice. So this is the Ulrich version, the Blood on the Snow version. Interesting. I thought I had Concealing Curtains. One of the cool things tells you what cards are missing, but I could have sworn I had Concealing Curtains. So this version here is playing some Key to the Archives, as well as the Drain package, but Blood on the Snow. So you're seeing some versions there. You're seeing the more sacrifice-based version, as well as Gruul Werewolves, very similar idea, but playing a little bit bigger in terms of the Lupine Harbingers or the Volatile Arsonists. So don't get the card advantage, but bit of a chunkers, just going all werewolves. Even the Tenacious Pup, just being a 1-drop that gets your things bigger, gives them Trample and Vigilance, has been really good in this shell. Just another 1-drop for the Wolf's deck is quite huge. Interesting. Another card advantage spell, Seek. That's pretty cool. Something in sideboards I've seen play. Haven't really played with that card at all or seen it, but interesting tech that kind of comes out of these decks. As always, you can find the deck lists. If there's anything you need, just let me know in the comments. If you can't see certain cards or stuff like that, try to hover over it for long enough that you can pull the stuff. But as always, if you do enjoy the content, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back with more throughout the week. And as mentioned, we will be back and up and running with the normal daily content as soon as we can. Thanks for watching. Have a great one.